Season 2 starts with Selena Gomez's dad out of town. So while he's out of town, he tasks Selena Gomez's mom with teaching the wizard lessons. Selena Gomez's mom makes it for about 1 minute before she gets tired of the kids' shenanigans. They're arguing and fighting in the lair. And so she leaves. And so after she leaves, Selena Gomez's twink brother takes over the lesson. So the lesson is about wizard wear, basically outfits that have magical powers. So there's like um, there, there's a fast suit, like you put it on and you move really fast, and there are smarty pants, which make you smart. Um, well, in this episode, uh, Selena Gomez's friend Harper is participating in a quiz bowl, and so she has this team. One of her team members is unable to participate for some reason, so she needs somebody to fill the spot. Harper's team is going up against Selena Gomez's twink brother's team because he also does quiz bowl, and they have more than one team in the same school. But Selena Gomez agrees to help out Harper and join the team. Well, she decides to, she has a crush on this boy whose name is Dean. And she's trying to impress him. So he is setting up the equipment for the quiz bowl. She decides to volunteer with him. Let's do electrical work. Apparently, they get untrained children to do the electrical work for the quiz bowl, which is a disaster waiting to happen. Somebody's going to get injured. They're going to get sued. It's clearly not a good idea. But they do the electrical work. Obviously, they fuck it up, and so there's like a electrical surge that causes all sorts of problems, and it starts smoking and everything. But eventually, it all gets worked out, and Selena Gomez goes to the quiz bowl with her smarty pants on. Well, when you get the smarty pants, there's like this voice that says, "Warning, warning! Here are the side effects," and it lists a whole bunch of side effects to it. Selena Gomez, of course, ignores those. But she ends up going to the quiz bowl, and she's amazing at it. She knows the answer to everything, and it kind of offends Harper because Harper's here because she wants to have fun, and Selena Gomez is just answering every question and not letting anybody else speak. Well, in the end, she ends up taking off her smarty pants, and it reveals that she has gotten one of the side effects, which is skeleton legs. So her legs are just like a skeleton, and she plays it off as like, it's a costume thing. I have skeleton tights on. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Selena Gomez's little brother has he has his own side plot. So there's this water fountain at school that all the kids like more than the other water fountains. Apparently, the water tastes better from this fountain. Well, he's decided, hey, there's always a line at this fountain. So what if I bottle the water from this fountain and sell it to people so they don't have to wait in line for it? That's the whole plot that he has. It doesn't work out particularly well because they can get the water for free, and then they eventually end up having to wait in line to buy his water, and it doesn't work out. There's another line that I made a note of here. Harper's wearing an outfit with like grapes on it. And Selena Gomez makes some comment like, you should probably wear less fruit as clothing. She's like, well, papayas just came into season. So I looked it up. This is the start of season 2, which means it's probably the fall of the school year. Probably like August, September, October that this happens. She says that papayas just came into season. Papayas come into season in May. This is an inconsistency. Also, a funny thing about the Selena Gomez's crush on Dean. So he is characterized as a bad boy, and there are all sorts of quotes that they have about why he is a bad boy. Harper says at one point in this episode, I hear he plays with firecrackers. In the next episode, I'll talk about more of the examples of ways in which he's a bad boy. But that's episode 1, and now we're on with season 2. Episode 2 is mostly about Selena Gomez's twink brother. So he has been trying to meet people on WizFace, which is their wizard social media. He apparently has a history of trying to go out with girls off WizFace, and they always lie about their profile. They always either are uglier than they look on their profile, or one time he dated somebody who was a centaur, and she didn't mention that she was a centaur in advance of dating him. So Selena Gomez is trying to talk him out of dating somebody he met on WizFace. Well, she ends up showing up, and she's a pretty girl. And Selena Gomez is shocked, like, oh, there must be something bad about her that she's not telling us. He introduces what's her name? I didn't even write down her name. He introduces this girl to his parents. His dad ends up saying, "You must be Selena Gomez's friend." And Selena Gomez's twin brother gets really offended by this, saying, "A pretty girl can be with me." So this, I believe, is the last time they make a reference to him being unpopular, unattractive, etc. Before they switch and try to objectify him later on in the season. But I made a note of that because this is the last reference that they make to he can't be with a pretty girl. So when he introduces this girl to his parents like pull him into the kitchen to talk to him about it. Like, that there are going to be consequences from meeting somebody off WizFace. It's there's going to be something wrong with her. She had to have lied on her profile. So this is done. They have this conversation like a little bit too close to this girl, and there's like a window that's open, and she can overhear it. This violates the typical Disney Channel rule where no matter how loudly you talk, if you don't want people to overhear you, they don't overhear you. But in this case, she does overhear it, and she doesn't do anything bad by overhearing. It's just an awkward moment. But he he's going out with this girl. Another thing that I noticed in this is when she comes to their apartment to hang out, they're all wearing shoes inside, which is gross. Like, why would they wear shoes inside? But it's annoying. But I think that's a pretty consistent thing that people do in TV shows. But they go out to the park, and she's really excited to go to the park. She's like, "Yeah, let's go to the park." So she ends up saying, like, she goes, "Hi, hi, hi" to strangers, and somebody's throwing a flying disc, which they apparently can't call frisbees because of trademark. But she is exhibiting these dog-like behaviors. And Selena Gomez ends up confronting her, saying, like, "You're a dog, right?" She's like, "No, I'm not a dog. I'm a werewolf." Because apparently werewolves don't really have any serious consequences for things. They just have dog-like behaviors. It's apparently not a painful transition. They don't go out and attack people. They just like run around like wild dogs and don't really hurt anybody. It seems like not that big of a problem. And this girl is trying to say to Selena Gomez's twin brother, "Oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal." But that I think is inconsistent with things that happen later on in the series. But we'll get to that when that happens. But it turns out that werewolfness is transferred by kissing, which this girl does not tell Selena Gomez's twin brother in advance. So he kisses her, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you become a werewolf by kissing a werewolf." So that he becomes a werewolf, and then they go like running around the town, and Selena Gomez and her family have to go find him. I guess she reveals during their little running around the park that it's just a stereotype that it only happens at the full moon. It's actually every night you turn into a werewolf. And he's like, "Oh shit, what did I get myself into?" But it turns out there's a potion that just cures it, and so his werewolfness gets cured just by their dad making a potion. So really, again, no consequences to really bad decision making, and their dad just happens to know about this potion off the top of his head. Why does he remember after all these years how to make a werewolf potion? Has he done this before? I don't know. But that's episode 2. It's mostly all about Selena Gomez's twin brother. There are really no side plots with Selena Gomez and her little brother. In episode 3, Selena Gomez has a magic journal. So she draws pictures in this journal about all her fantasies. And she's able to go inside this journal to live in this fantasy world. So she's like a princess, and she's being rescued by a knight that looks like this boy Dean she likes. And she also has other secrets in there that she doesn't want people to know. Like she has her teddy bear and her blankie in there. And this is very secret. She goes in there, she really loves this fantasy, but she doesn't want anybody to find out about it. Her little brother goes to school with her now for some reason, even though he's way too young to go to this high school. I don't get it. But he is infatuated with Selena Gomez's rival, Gigi. Well, Gigi finds out that Selena Gomez has this journal. She's like, "Oh, I have to find out all the dirt that's in that journal." And so she manages to convince Selena Gomez's little brother to give her that journal just because he's so infatuated with her. So she ends up going inside the journal. Well, so they decide, oh, we have to close the journal because then the story pauses if you close the journal. But that's not consistent throughout the episode. There's a point where the story is clearly not paused, even though the journal is closed and Gigi's inside it. But Selena Gomez is really fretting about, oh no, Gigi's going to find out that I like Dean because this knight in there looks just like Dean. And so there are several comments in this about why Dean is no good, mostly made by Harper and Selena Gomez's twin brother. So I made a list of the things that make Dean a no good hoodlum. So he gives people temporary tattoos in the bathroom. He doesn't have a library card. He had a mustache all summer. He has no bedtime. And he plays video games with parental warnings. So these are the scary, no good things about Dean. So basically they end up having to get Gigi out of this magic journal and not reveal that it is a magic journal. So they end up eventually getting her out of it, and they convince her that she was just reading the journal. And Gigi believes this for some reason. She's like, "Oh, I thought that it was just such a vivid journal that it felt like I was inside it." Which, like, how is that realistic? Who would believe, "Oh, I'm inside this journal, but no, I'm actually just reading it and it's super vivid"? That's stupid. But Gigi comes out of it and is wanting to tell the whole school, "Hey, Selena Gomez likes Dean." But Selena Gomez decides to go ahead and just tell everybody, like, "Yeah, I have a crush on Dean. Yes, I do." And he's cool with that. He's like, "Yeah, let's date." But in the midst of Selena Gomez telling everybody her secret, Selena Gomez's twink brother decides also to tell an embarrassing fact about himself, and it's that he likes the Channel 7 weather girl, he calls her. And that apparently is his super embarrassing fact. That's probably not that embarrassing, but it's a recurring thing that he has a thing for the weather girl. But yep, episode 3, really, again, no consequences for stupid decisions that they make. And Selena Gomez ends up getting the boy, even though Gigi's trying to make fun of her for her journal.